Welcome back to another installment of Meta Monday. Today's meta deck list features Blue Flare, a deck to many that is considered a dark horse. While Black War Greymon X is one of the most dominating decks of BT11, Metal Greymon himself can do a lot of damage. As seen in Nationals, this deck can make some amazing plays, sometimes ending the game turn 2. This video will cover the card by card, the strengths, the weaknesses, and the combos. That being said, this deck profile also includes considerations for Ultimate Cup with the recent announcement of the new rules. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. This deck runs 5 level 2s, 10 level 3s, 13 level 4s, 10 level 5s, 2 level 6s, 9 option cards, and 6 Tamers. For level 2s, this deck runs 1 BT1 Upamon and 4 Wanyamon. While true Wanyamon only works in the presence of Kiriha Aonuma, Wanyamon has moved up the list in terms of one of the better eggs for blue. Tamer-heavy decks like Ulforce can also utilize this egg, because it's not a conditional draw like Upamon or even Babydomon. In the grand scheme of things, Upamon's another possible egg to utilize because this format looks heavily at another raised meta, utilizing Digimon to search for cards, which can possibly net you another draw. But for level 3s, this is where you have some flexibility on what you can do. For my 10 rookies, I went with BT10 Gaussmon, BT11 Dracomon, and Sayakomon. Sayakomon comes in as the sole floodgate for this deck. Because Black War Greymon X was seeing a lot of presence at Nationals, Sayakomon is one of the better counters for stopping the reduction cost ability of Greymon X. However, one substitute you could utilize as well for your local meta is Madoki Betamon to prevent memory from being gained by non-Tamer effects. If your local meta leans more towards Ulforce, Mastamon, or even Minervamon, Madoki Betamon is a better option. But in regards to your other 8 rookies, Gaussmon is a definite need for the deck to play your level 4 Blue Flare Digimon for free. Likewise, Dracomon adds a little bit of draw power, especially if you cross into Metal Greymon, with Kiriha or even Yuya fixing your memory. Level 4 wise, you run 4 BT10 Greymon, 3 Decadramon, 4 Male Birdramon, and 2 Starter Deck Greymon. Starter Deck Greymon may seem a little odd in this list, but it can be used to cross with Metal Greymon. In combination with the right cards, you can potentially set up another offense that can take out your opponent by turn 2. Such was a play that I witnessed during Nationals, but Greymon helps search for additional blue flared pieces, while Decadramon assists in card draw. Decadramon is exceptionally powerful in that on play you net not only one card, but an additional card for each of your opponent's Digimon. Jesmon GX and Bloom Lord decks can give you a particularly large hand, depending on the game state. And finally, Male Birdramon allows you to return a Metal Greymon from your trash to hand, but if you don't have Kiriha Aonuma in play, you may play one without paying its memory cost instead. All Blue Flare Digimon in the level 4 category have a save mechanic, allowing you to tuck them under your Tamers for future use. When it comes to level 5s, Metal Greymon is the MVP of this deck. When you Digicross, you can stun up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon with Digivolution cards equal to or less than this Digimon's. But its on-play gives this Digimon rush for the turn. Because of this, you can use it in combination with Metal Greymon X to give that additional security attack +1 and plus 3000 DP. Keep in mind, Deca Greymon and Metal Greymon Cyber Launcher are also level 5 targets that can Digivolve from a level 5, which is why Yuya Kuga is utilized in this particular build. Deca Greymon when Digivolving and on play lets you slot a Blue Flare Digimon underneath it, and then if you have Decadramon, you can stun one of your opponent's Digimon. Cyber Launcher bounces to level 3, and it increases to a level 4 if you have Cyberdramon in the sources. Sadly, I do not run Cyberdramon, the more I think of just dropping Metal Greymon Cyber Launcher altogether for the Deca Greymon. But it is useful for bouncing Gazimons and other memory floodgates instead. Level 6 wise, this deck runs 2 Z Greymon, again another Digimon that has a nasty combination that could potentially do a lot of damage. When Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. If this Digimon has Digimon with Blue Flare or Crossheart in its sources and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory. The best part, you can Digivolve from a Metal Greymon for 2. Keep in mind Deca Greymon and Metal Greymon X are not considered Metal Greymon Digimon, but Cyber Launcher and Metal Greymon are. This is where the extra 1 memory can be crucially needed at times. Now, level 7 wise, some lists run Death Xmon, which is what the top 32 Blue Flare list ran. But my mindset and reasoning behind it is that it is counterintuitive to your strategy. You want your opponent to have multiple Digimon in play in order to capitalize on your effects. But if you really need it, again, pick any one Digimon in the deck to drop and add it. But do keep in mind it's not searchable, and ultimately gets bottom decked. Blitz Omnimon was another consideration, but again, it's something you have to draw into, and Z Greymon is your only way to utilize it. For option cards, this deck runs 4 Blazing Memory Boost, 1 Ice Wall, 2 Sorai, and 2 Hammer Spark. Blazing Memory Boost reveals 6 cards, then adds 2 cards with Blue Flare to your hand. If you also happen to hit Kiriha Aonuma, you get to play it as well. A huge option card that can do a lot for you, and then delay 2 memory next turn. Ice Wall and Hammer Sparks are your standard defensive option cards, while your primary security bomb is Sorai. Sorai has been spoken about a lot lately because of its ability to strip the top 4 sources. Against a Black War Greymon X deck, you can potentially hit the Greymon X that removes the protection or even remove sources from Omnimon X to prevent those battle negations. And finally, Tamers in the form of 2 Yuya Kuga and 4 Kiriha Aonuma. Yuya provides some extra buffs to your Greymon Digimon and can also prevent option cards from affecting them if your stack is built correctly. Kiriha, on the other hand, provides you stable memory and also allows you to cross with your Digimon under your Tamers. Strengths and weakness wise, this deck has a lot of aggressive plays, with your defensive plays relying more on your level 5s and option cards. At times it can feel bricky, but going second can give you a lot of advantage. But its major weakness lies in its dependence on your opponent having multiple Digimon in play. Because without them, you can't trigger your abilities. One Digimon in play, Greymon doesn't unsuspend your Digimon. Male Birdramon doesn't stun a Digimon, and Decadramon doesn't give you that all turns plus 1000 DP. Going first also feels bad because a lot of your plays will pass 3, 4, or even 5 memory in some instances. But combo-wise, if your opponent ever hands you 3 memory, the best combo to really hit them with is a super aggressive strategy. Say your opponent hands you 3 memory off of a memory boost, because they couldn't go into a rookie. If you have Metal Greymon, Starter Deck Greymon, Male Birdramon, and Metal Greymon X, you can go the super aggressive strategy and Digicross immediately into Metal Greymon for 3 memory, tucking the Starter Deck Greymon and Male Birdramon underneath. Going to 0 memory, Metal Greymon gains Rush. Digivolve into the Metal Greymon X now gives you a Digimon with plus 3000 DP and another security attack plus 1. Swing, and if you hit nothing of consequence, you can Digivolve into a rookie in the back, assuming you had one in your opening hand, or you drew it off the Metal Greymon X. And just like that, you could choke your opponent to 2 with a Digivolve into a level 4. In this specific instance, if your opponent didn't have a rookie, it's difficult to break the present board. But option cards can of course spin the Metal Greymon X back to your hand, or even just outright delete it. But remember, your Digimon gets a plus 3000 DP through their turn. But alas, Ultimate Cups have just been recently unveiled with a new special rule. And because of this, if you decide to play Blue Flare in the next Ultimate Cup, you'll need to swap out those aggro text for something a little bit more monocolor. You'll notice in this particular variant, I added a 4th Decadramon for potential draw power, a 1-tech Cyberdramon to utilize with your Metal Greymons, a 3rd Z Greymon for offensive capabilities, a bump up on Hammer Spark for memory tricks, but adding Sora Takanuchi and Joe Keto back in as Tamer choices. Remember, Source Stripping will be viable once again, and without X Antibody, there is no protection. In general, what are your thoughts on Blue Flare decks? Do you feel Blue Flare is still underrepresented? Or do you think because many decks are focused on a single stack, that this is what is resulting in Blue Flare underperforming? Let me know your thoughts, because this deck can really catch people off guard if they haven't played against it enough. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.